And you get an impeachment. And you get an impeachment. Oprah Winfrey? Anyone? President? The country is abuzz about the prospect of impeaching a powerful figure who got his ultra-influential job under a cloud of controversy. Think you know what I'm talking about? No, I'm not talking about President Donald Trump this time. I'm talking about Supreme Court Justice Brett Kavanaugh. So Kavanaugh made it to the nation's highest court in October 2018 after a nomination process that was dominated by allegations that he had sexually assaulted women in both high school and college. Important to note, he has denied all of those allegations. Kavanaugh's confirmation hearings, which was highlighted by the emotional testimony of Christine Blasey Ford, who said Kavanaugh had assaulted her at a party in high school in the DC area, became a cultural touchstone. It sparked a broader conversation amid the Me Too movement about whether allegations like these from Ford had some sort of cultural statute of limitations, conversation about the reliability of our memories, and a discussion of what we owe accusers and the accused. The story dominated the news, TV, and print for weeks. It even became the stuff of parody, with Matt Damon playing Kavanaugh during a particularly memorable skit on Saturday Night Live.
Look, I like beer, okay? I like beer. Boys like beer, girls like beer, I like beer. I like beer.
But then, the story mostly disappeared. Kavanaugh got confirmed and disappeared behind the curtain of the Supreme Court. Sidebar: covering the Supreme Court is legendarily difficult. The justices almost never speak publicly. It is quite literally the world's most exclusive club. And sidebar: the ghosts of Kavanaugh's confirmation hearings, though, are still swirling, and a new book by 2 New York Times reporters, which includes new allegations about Kavanaugh's behavior in college, has restarted the debate of how he got onto the court in the first place and whether he should be staying there. The new Kavanaugh book, it's called The Education of Brett Kavanaugh, revisits one of the claims made during his confirmation hearings and contains a former male classmate's new allegation, which the authors say was corroborated by 2 sources, as well as reporting that suggests the FBI didn't interview potential witnesses during its examination of the allegations. So in the blink of an eye, Kavanaugh became a political football all over again. President Donald Trump sent a flurry of tweets in mid-September defending Kavanaugh, including this one. Quote, "Brett Kavanaugh should start suing people for libel, or the Justice Department should come to his rescue. The lies being told about him are unbelievable. False accusations without recrimination. When does it stop? They're trying to influence his opinions. Can't let that happen." End quote. Sidebar: in the original tweet, Trump spelled libel L-I-A-B-L-E, which, of course, shout out to the National Spelling Bee, is pronounced liable, which is totally fine, very normal, and very modern-day presidential. At least 5 of Trump's potential Democratic rivals, Elizabeth Warren, Bernie Sanders, Kamala Harris, Beto O'Rourke, and Pete Buttigieg, quickly called for Kavanaugh to be impeached because of the new revelations, which kind of got me to wondering, how exactly do you impeach a Supreme Court justice? And might it, actually come to pass? Okay, well, the first question is easier to answer than the second, so let's tackle the first one first. Now, impeaching a Supreme Court justice, it turns out, is a lot like impeaching a president, which is interesting because we've been talking a lot about impeaching a president lately. So an impeachment effort then would start in the House, where a majority of members could approve of articles of impeachment against Brett Kavanaugh. Now, what would those charges be? They would likely deal with allegations made by some Democrats that Kavanaugh lied about his conduct in high school and college under oath during his Senate confirmation hearings. That would fall under, I guess, high crimes and misdemeanors. Now, if the House passed impeachment, a trial would then be held in the Senate. In order to remove Kavanaugh, 2/3 of the Senate would have to vote to convict him. And it's probably worth noting right here that a sitting Supreme Court justice has never actually been removed from office by Congress. Samuel Chase, who you all remember, old Supreme Court Justice Samuel Chase, came close in 1805 when he was impeached by the House but wound up being acquitted by the Senate. You're wondering what were the charges against Chase? It was that he was too partisan, of course. The 19th century was a very quaint place. Now, just because no Supreme Court justice has ever been impeached and removed from the bench doesn't mean people haven't been trying to do just that for decades. So there have been calls for impeachment charges to be brought against, among many others, Justice Clarence Thomas, Chief Justice John Roberts Jr., and Justice Sonia Sotomayor. And as Washington Post Supreme Court reporter Robert Barnes notes, there were billboards across the South during the 1950s calling for the impeachment of Justice Earl Warren following several rulings on desegregation. In short, we've been here before. And for all the sound and fury, even Samuel Chase, impeached by the House, served 6 more years in the country's highest court after he was acquitted by the Senate. So that history, plus our current political realities, make it very, very unlikely that Brett Kavanaugh is going to be kicked off the Supreme Court, even if the Democratic-controlled House managed to impeach Kavanaugh. And to be honest, that's no sure thing. There is almost no chance that the Senate would convict him. Republicans hold 53 Senate seats, which means that 20 of them would need to vote along with Democrats in order for Kavanaugh to be removed. Short of some hugely damning and indisputably true new facts about Kavanaugh's past, it's virtually impossible to see such a thing happening. All of which means that no matter how many books get written about Brett Kavanaugh's past, his future is going to be on the Supreme Court. And that is the point. We make new Point episodes every Tuesday and Thursday. Check them all out.